It's just the absence of love.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Starve the Demon Recovery by Any Means Necessary. I'm your host, Jenna, and today I'm joined by Amanda from Arkansas. This conversation is about real recovery, the fight, the pain, the breakthroughs, and the truth. Amanda, welcome to Starve the Demon.
Thank you for having me.
So happy that you're here. Let's start at the beginning. What did addiction look like for you at its worst?
That's a really complex question because there was so much bad. What it looked like at its worst was when I was actually homeless in East St. Louis and couldn't understand for the life of me how I even got to that place. I still can't answer how I even got there. Aside from poor decision making, I was in no place to be making any kind of decisions like that, and having no money, no nothing. I existed, and I stayed behind a dumpster.
So, how old were you then?
This was 5 years ago, so 33.
And how old were you when you started using?
I was probably about 17.
That's a good long time. How did it begin for you? Was there a specific turning point? Was it like a slow slide over time?
I think it did creep in, a slow slide over time. My story is packed with all this craziness, but it was from the time that I was little. Things that were happening and how I felt about myself. Literally, survival is how I learned to cope with things from a very young age. And so, numbing that with drugs, my brother actually got me high for the very first time in my life. Again, people that are supposed to love you and care about you put you in these positions. Now, is it his fault? Absolutely not. If he hadn't have done it, I would have done it anyways. It's just the absence of love.
Were your parents addicts?
From what I saw, my parents were not addicts. I didn't really have a lot to do with my father. He wasn't a good person in my life. My mom was an amazing human.
Was she a single mom?
She was not. She was the kind of person that thought that, when you marry somebody, that's it. You stay with that person, you love that person, and I understand that. That's what the Bible teaches us. I get that.
Is that what you were trying to cope with or escape from back then when you first started using? Or did you start just kind of because you were a teenager and that's what teenagers did?
I think that I was trying to compensate for the way that I felt about myself. The things that my father had done to me when I was really small never left my mind. I will never forget it. Have I moved on from that? Absolutely. But no, I started using, I think, because I hated everything about myself.
You internalized
Right,
abuse.
right.
I understand. I'm not going to make you get into all those details. I think we all know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Did the people around you know that you were using, or did you keep it under wraps?
I thought that nobody knew. But really and truly, it was very obvious that I was not okay. But by the time I was 17, honestly, I was already divorced and had 2 children. So
Oh, wow. So let me ask you this, because I married very young. I was 16 and I married a complete psycho. I didn't realize at the time. I know that I was so much more concerned about what I was running away from to get out of my house and get away from my family. It didn't even occur to me to worry about what I was running into. Is that what you were going through at the same time when you got married and had kids so young?
set up pretty good, yes.
See, none of us are alone. There's nothing I have ever gone through that a million other people don't go through. That's what I have learned in recovery. We're all unique and special, just
Amen.
like everybody else. Was there a rock bottom moment for you?
I had left my children, my younger children. They are now 17 and 14, and I ran away, and that's when I ended up in East St. Louis. And I remember that moment where I felt like this is as bad as it gets. There was nothing lower than what I felt at that moment. And I just remember screaming. I was with a person and I was screaming at him, like, how could I have even been here? Yes, that was rock bottom for me. And when the decision to either stay in that chaos or go back home, knowing that I had to go to jail if I went back home, jail sounded so much easier for me.
Had you been in trouble with the law before that?
I had been in trouble, but I was not a felon before that. And anything that I was ever in trouble for was just like a book and release kind of thing. Going for my only felony and knowing that I had to stay for X amount of time was a lot.
That was scary.
Yeah.
I get it. Listen, I've been to prison and I hate to say it, but it ain't that bad.
Right.
I
Right.
mean, it is. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. However, compared to other situations, it's not that bad.
Right.
You're protected. You have a roof over your head. They feed you. They give you clothes. They give you a job.
Yeah.
You go to school. They got a rec yard. You could work out. Yeah, I have been personally in situations way worse than when I was in prison.
Right.
Worried where I'm going to get my next meal, worried where I'm going to sleep tonight, worried about my physical safety, my emotional safety.
Yes, ma'am.
And in prison, you don't really worry about that stuff. It's all just took care of. I get that. Did you ever feel like the addiction itself was going to take you out?
I did. I did.
Is that something that you struggled against, or is that something you would have welcomed at that time?
I welcomed it. I actually prayed for it at the time. I just remember not wanting to breathe anymore. I remember, like, I didn't wanna kill myself, but dying didn't bother me.
So at some point, something shifted. What made you want to actually fight back and recover?
It's when I was in jail, everything was quiet. The chaos was gone. I had to face myself, and I had to deal with emotions that I'd been numbing for so long that all of a sudden became loud. That was a complete turning point for me because I had to deal with things on life's terms.
What recovery paths did you try? What didn't work for you?
So I tried a lot of different things. I tried NA and AA. You know, when I got to my personal inventory, that's when I usually ran. I hated looking at those things. I wasn't ready to surrender and face those things that had happened to me or things that I had done. Mostly things that I had done, if I'm being complete. I don't know. They probably would have worked if I would have worked then. What worked for me was going to the DOTS program, Christ centered, faith based rehab worked for me, Bible, Jesus.
So, do you think that you just weren't ready for the 12 steps, or did you feel something missing when you were working the NA or the AA program?
The more I think about it, the more I realize that I was absolutely not ready. And I might have felt ready at the time, but something deep down inside of me wasn't ready to face it.
Fair enough. Now, when you finally went to DOTS, I love that you call it DOTS, Daughters of Hope and Transformation. Were there people in your life that doubted your ability to get recovery and stay in recovery?
Even still today, there's a lot of people that doubt that I will stay on this path. I used to let that kind of stuff bother me, but it really doesn't bother me. I'll show them, I'll show them, but it's really not about showing them. It's really an inward thing. So it doesn't matter whether they believe me or not. What matters is that I'm a daughter of the king, you know?
Right on. And so you've got 4 years, right? That's amazing. First 4 years are the hardest. It's just going to be easier from there.
Right.
What was it about the Daughters of Hope and Transformation that made that program different or more impactful in your recovery?
So for me personally, I still struggle with anxiety. This is actually a really small rehab, so it was really close knit, and everybody loved each other and helped each other. Not saying that the big ones don't do that, but for me personally, with the level of anxiety I had, and I had to be on medication for that almost the entire time that I was in the program. I'm not on medication anymore, so that's an amazing thing.
That's a
It
blessing.
was, the closeness of each other, the love and the real, raw honesty that we all shared with one another.
I found the same kind of thing. Like, I am still friends with girls that I was in rehab with, people I went to prison with.
Yes.
I guess it's a very bonding experience because you're going through the same thing together and it's not easy. And you do have to kind of lean on one another to get through it. Recovery doesn't mean that the fight disappears. What do you still struggle with in recovery today?
I get triggered sometimes, but really and truly, the biggest thing that I struggle with is I don't like to be alone. So, you know what they say about idle hands, right? They're the devil's playground, the devil's shop. And so if I keep myself busy, which I love to do, that's I go to work, I volunteer when I get home, full-time mom, All of these things keep me busy and my mind busy. Careful little ears what you hear, be careful little eyes what you see, because whatever you hear and whatever you see is doing something in here.
Do you have any hobbies? Do you do stuff for fun like crochet or go fishing or
I
anything
love
like
to
that?
fish. I love to hike. We go hiking. It's been a little bit since we went hiking. It's getting cold out there, but it is something that I really love to do. I like to go to church on Sundays and then go on a nice hiking trip after church.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, my husband, I would like to fish, and we got metal detectors. That's going to be my
That's
retirement
interesting.
plan. We're going to go find some
Yeah,
treasure.
I see lots of videos about stuff like that. That's awesome.
When I say starve the demon, recovery by any means necessary, what does that mean to you?
What it means to me to starve the demon, because there is always a little thing back there in the back of my mind, in the back of our mind, that always says that it's okay. We have to deny our flesh from these things because it really leads to nowhere. Like, I just really believe with my entire heart that if we starve the demon, if we deny our flesh, I say starve the demon, but really to me it's a me problem. Yes, it's a demon, it is, but I have to understand that if I can change the way that I think, if I can change the way that I feel, then it's a lot easier for me. So starving the demon is denying my flesh of the things that it desires and doing more of the kingdom work, if you will.
Good answer. How do you starve the demon when it tries to come back and get you?
Being completely surrendered, being completely honest. I can talk about things with people, and I have to do that by telling the truth. I have to do that by being honest. I
Mm.
can't tell a single lie ever again. So when I do that and I talk to people, I reach out, I pick up the phone. I have a mentor. I do. I talk to her about things, and she is not a sugarcoater. So if I'm like, "Hey, this is going on. This
Yeah.
is how I feel," she's like, "Okay, here we go," and she will be completely honest
Yeah.
back with. That's how I deal with things.
We all need that in our life. For me as a 12 stepper, it's a sponsor. That exact same reasoning. You've had some relapses in your story. What did you learn from those relapses?
From each and every single one, I learned that it just gets harder. Every time I relapse, it is a lot harder in the Bible, and I couldn't tell you where they talk about when the devil sees that your house is in order and everything is going well, he's gonna attack you even more. He's gonna come back with 7 more of his friends, as a matter of fact, and they're gonna attack you. And so
Mm.
when I think about that, there's a lot of things in sevens. Each relapse is 7 times harder than the last time, 7, 14, however many it goes. The biggest thing that I learned is to surrender.
You surrender by stop fighting.
Right, right. Stop fighting.
Let's talk about where you are now. What is the best part of being in recovery today?
Today it's reflecting on where I was versus where I am now. So I have a home that I pay rent on. I have a car that I pay my insurance on. It's a nice car. All of the little things matter. All of the small stuff matters to me more than anything because I have had absolutely nothing. And the thing with having absolutely
Mm.
nothing is I was okay with that back then. I was okay with being in a shack in the woods and no electricity and things like that. But today I have a good relationship with my children. I'm a grandmother. I have a good relationship with my grandchildren and I'm just really thankful. I have a good man in my life. He's my fiance. We'll be getting married soon, and we do these things together. So as a team, relationships didn't work out in the past because I kept choosing all the wrong
Sure.
things. But we get along so well. We don't fight all the time. I'm not saying we agree on everything. We don't. And I think we get on each other's nerves sometimes,
Of
but
course.
but it's something that we work on together as a team, and I've never had that before, and I'm just God blesses me in ways that are far beyond anything that I could ever imagine.
I can tell. I can hear the gratitude when you talk. I am right there with you. I wouldn't trade my man for the world. And boy, we went through it. We went through it to get where we are, but I wouldn't trade him for nothing. And now he's a God fearing man and he goes to church with me every Sunday. And I've told him for years, I will follow as soon as you start leading.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, absolutely.
it's amazing what God can do. What would you say to someone who believes that recovery is impossible?
I can understand feeling that way. Um, I think that I also felt like that. I felt like I had been doing it for too long. I was stuck in my ways, and this is just how it was going to be, and I was going to die this way. But the hardest part is finding out that there is another way and taking the step into that other way because nobody's too far gone, right? The hardest part is that first step. And if you just take it, if you just take the chance and take the risk, whatever path you decide to do, whether it be working the steps, whether it be you know, a one step with Jesus, it doesn't matter. Whatever step you need to take, be brave enough to take it.
Amen. Well said. And you're never alone. Whatever it is you're going through, there's a gabillion other people going through that same thing. Without any sugarcoating, what is one truth about recovery that people need to hear?
It's not easy and where it is because the mind's a battlefield. You got to keep your mind on this path. And it's not easy, but surround yourself with people that care. Surround yourself with people that will pray for you. Whether you believe in God or not, a prayer cannot hurt you. Keep moving forward. Keep surrendering, not the pretty kind, not the kind where you give up on everything. Surrender that part of yourself. Be willing to make that change. That's the biggest thing for me.
You do. You have to be willing to make that change. You have to be willing to ask for help. You have to be willing to accept the help that's offered to you. And for a lot of us, that's a big struggle. You could talk to your past self before addiction took hold of you. What would you tell her?
I'm thankful for my past, for one, but I would tell my past self to don't give up. Don't give up fighting. You are not worthless. You are not unworthy. You are God's daughter. He loves you so much. I would tell myself to start taking accountability. Don't live like a victim because you're not a victim. Yeah, just keep going. One foot in front of the other, one honest step to the other.
Honesty is the first spiritual principle. Without it, nothing else works. Do you have a favorite quote or motto that keeps you going?
I do. Nothing you do tomorrow will help you with today, but everything that you do today can make a difference tomorrow.
Well said. Wiser words never spoken. If this conversation has meant something to you, please like, subscribe, and comment, and let us know what resonated. You can find links to Amanda's social media in the description below, and you can find more recovery resources at starvethedemon.com. And if you'd like to support the show, there's a Buy Me a Coffee link there as well. Amanda, thank you so much for your honesty and for showing up. And to everyone watching, love everybody. Let God sort them out. And keep coming back. I'm going to keep coming back. Bye.